But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.
Welcome, 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 everybody. I am, aka William. Or is it William, aka I am. I don't know. But this is the World Blockchain Roundtable. And no, I'm not alone. Actually, there is a crowd of people right behind me that are trying to get into the studio, but the door is locked. And I have some people that are helping me guard the door, which includes, in alphabetical order, Zach from the Legacy Right. Good morning, Zach.
Is this backwards? Alphabetical order?
And then we have Lisa Mighty Davis. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Good morning.
And also holding the door closed.
I'm trying.
All I gotta say is,
Thanks,
when you knock, you'll receive.
And unfortunately, they got Joe. He's gone. He was right here. And
Joe got abducted by
I see him. I'll let you know.
Yeah,
Bye, Joe.
he got abducted by aliens.
We might have Greg sneak through the crowd and get through the door because he's got the, he knows the private key to get into the door, into the studio here. And hopefully we'll have Satoshi Sean join us as well. But again, this is the World Blockchain Roundtable, episode 270, 270 weeks of the longest based DAO-based podcast in the whole world. Unbelievable. We're going to be talking about decentralized AI. What? Is there such a thing? Versus big tech AI. And again, I'm wearing my decentralize everything t-shirt to, let everyone know how I stand. But who is going to win? Decentralized AI versus big tech AI? Boy, it's a big raging battle. I don't know, but the panelists and I will weigh in with our answers to questions from the audience on this theme. Last week's theme, by the way, was, it was AI agents on blockchain, the rise of autonomous on-chain economies. So the host from last week received 66 lot layer ownership tokens on DEN.SOCIAL in the World Blockchain Roundtable layer. And each topic contributor received 25 lot. And we're excited that we had that show. That was a good one. I encourage you to take a look at that one if you haven't watched it already. That was last week. This week is just this. Decentralized AI versus big tech and who wins. And, this is a blockchain show. And I know we're talking about AI, but decentralized AI also includes blockchain, or it can. And, he busted through the door. Greg has just joined us. Greg, good
Hello.
Morning, sir.
Welcome in.
And Joe was
glad to be here.
The crowd, vampires, zombies, whatever apocalypse thing, I think they may have taken it because we got
he was kidding. Joe
He's jumped onto the dragon chain.
Yeah,
nice.
The dragon chain. He's the SEC Slayer, by the way. I think he should change his title and name. Instead of founder of Dragon Chain and founder of all these amazing projects, he should be the SEC Security Exchange Slayer.
Well, I mean, we've already got the dragon trope, right? Like, we can totally just go full-blown Game of Thrones and give him like a Queen of the Andals, level title. Like,
Joe would be a good queen.
Breaker of SEC chains.
He makes a great queen.
Yes. Well, we have a storm in the Gulf that's raging towards Texas. It's a tropical storm, I think, Bertha. And but I think it's just going to kind of fitter out, and it's not going to have much. But I'm just a guy on the internet. I'm not telling you to not,
By the time it gets to where I'm at, it's going to just be a nice rain we've needed. So I'm happy with that.
I kind of got a feeling that's what it's going to be. I probably won't even make it to where I'm at. Probably be all dried out.
Right. You'll just be able to see the clouds dissipating on the horizon going, oh, please make the next one slightly larger in category.
I can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
Oh, no. But if we were to ask a decentralized AI, I wonder what they would answer and how they would answer. Or if big tech AI will give us a more accurate answer. Who knows? But these are the things that we're going to discuss today.
I didn't even know there was. I mean, what do you consider a decentralized AI?
That's a very good question.
Lisa.
An AI for
It's to be
conservatives.
the first question.
It might
So
be.
the mighty Darox. Should we go into it already?
Refresh.
There are actually multiple good definitions for this, which I think is interesting.
Yeah. By the way, there you go. I just hit the refresh. Did you see the screen blink?
I saw it.
You saw it all blink? Hit the refresh.
Witnessed.
I saw it.
Witnessed
All right.
history.
That's
That was a
evidence.
refresh
What are
of the refresh. So that was the last chance you had to get questions into this esteemed panel here before us. But anyway, having said that, there are actually decentralized AIs out there.
Really?
Or not.
Well, decentralized AI services, I think, is one distinction we have to draw. And then another one we have to draw is an actual decentralized intelligence, which would be a different animal.
Okay, that's what I was.
Yeah. But there are some out there. There's like fetch.ai. There are some like Venture or something. I've not used it.
And I'm unfamiliar with their architectures. Do you know if those are decentralized services or actually decentralized intelligence?
A little bit of both. It's kind of a mix out there. Like the Akash network and
Hold on. Somebody have
on.
an answer for Lazy Hustler.
Let's see.
No, I have not read what
They can contract support on Dragon Chain. This is not.
That's
basically
to
maybe actually that's possible.
Scam stuff.
That's possible, but you're gonna have to reach out to the Dragon Chain team directly. We are actually, one of the cool things about the show, Lazy Hustler, is we are actually unaffiliated directly with Dragon Chain in any meaningful way. What we're doing is contributing to a decentralized network, and none of us actually have control of what goes on inside that company. They just issued the software on which we built our decentralized show. So
that is correct.
We are pirates and we hijack them.
So to the extent we can pass on the worry, we will. I would probably do it's probably help@dragonchain.com or something like that.
Now what I'm reading here, okay, and it's not.
And if I get a chance to mention it to somebody, if I bump into them, which I can't guarantee because I don't work there, I'll mention it too.
There is, if you follow also Super Happy Dragon
We'll let
Lucky,
you know on the next show.
Yeah. Super Happy Dragon Lucky. You can also go DEN.SOCIAL and go to the Dragon Chain layer, pose a question there as well. Because DEN.SOCIAL is built on Dragon Chain. And every Thursday morning, Joe does an update show for Super Happy Dragon Lucky. You might want to watch today's show. There has been some changes to Dragon Chain because they're in the middle of a large upgrade. And that might be having to do with the issue that your Larry Hustler 212. That's might be having to do with the issue that you have going right now, because they're doing a big change. So and unfortunately, Joe was going to potentially join us, but
he had big plans.
We have, but I think the zombies got him. No. He might be able to.
Joe had to step out to He's part of the new CryptoZar team in the White House.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I thought he was coordinated with
Don't-
his Dragon Knights.
No, he's coordinating with Donald Trump.
Mm.
Donald Trump. Trumpin'.
By the way, today I do not have my Dragon or my DEN.SOCIAL cup. I have Rio Grande Valley, Texas cup today. And every time someone says the word matter or, because things matter, I have to drink. It's like a drinking game, but it's for the word matter because that's
a question about that.
For DEN.SOCIAL.
If the comments are flooded with the word matter, does that count?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would count. It would count.
That sounds gay.
It would count. It would count. Well, anyway, so Derek's here. Let's just jump right in there. You good with this? I think now, Greg, you had a conversation or a quick comment about decentralized AI. What is it versus big tech AI? And big tech AI, of course, are the big ones like Gemini, Grok, ChatGPT.
Right.
All of
But
them.
those are the big services, right? And then there's
and those would be big tech and centralized.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, if we're talking service-wise, not decentralized in any way. I'm not exactly sure about the internal architectures of those teams because for all we know, they could be running a broad distributed network across many data centers in order to get their thing working, right? It could technically be mechanically decentralized without being service decentralized.
We got activity.
That's what Reggie's building with his AI is. It's like multiple, like I can't even remember how many, but they like work together, but they're all from different sources. Okay, so that's
right, exactly. So like you can in a certain way say a team of experts or a panel of experts model or whatever they call it exactly.
Yeah,
right.
Or a cohort of experts model. That could be technically decentralized across 4 or 5 different models, and even potentially a 6th if they're modeling like how to route it,
as well as agents as well.
Yeah, right. So that's an important distinction to think about when you're thinking about decentralized AI versus decentralized AI services, because some of them can be running pretty centralized hardware and still be offering a decentralized service in the sense that people care about, but they can also be doing some really experimental cool stuff and running an actual distributed intelligence, which is more difficult, I would say.
Yes. As far as now his question is, what are some well-known decentralized AIs? And I had mentioned I think the one that's probably maybe the largest of the decentralized grouping might be Fetch.ai. I have not used it. So
I would also say that Hugging Face is kind of a decentralized AI platform in the sense that if you go through the learning steps to just install a local model, you can find local models that run on your machine that do what you want to do without you having to pay or identify yourself to anybody other than Hugging Face, which is kind of annoying. But so they started forcing ID if you want to get access to the not safe for work models. But that whole digital ID thing is another conversation entirely. The cool thing about Hugging Face is you can go there and you can search. You can find 15, 20 different ways to solve the problem that you've got. Look at ratings, look at reviews, pick out which one you want to download and install, and then just set it up. Now that does require some technical expertise. So the decentralized services are really helpful because they build with all of the models too, right? So for example, Sogni AI, those guys do image generators, and they built a network of providers that can run the infrastructure and then deliver the service. So there's a decentralized network component for some of the more advanced features, but there's an offline local function baked right into their software. So, and that's really powerful, especially because you can, on the PC version or Mac version, you can download, or Linux version, you can download models from Hugging Face and run them directly on Sogni for image generation.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
Nice. Well, Fetch AI supposedly has over 2 million users. Yeah, I'm not sure, and I don't know how frequent they use it, but it's much more of a kind of an agent-verse type AI. And So its consumer adoption is far weaker than your big tech AI, and therefore the resources for some of these decentralized AIs they don't have the resources really to compete in accuracy of answers and accuracy of information. But what they do provide is they can provide specialty, a specialized data set, and a wealth within that of knowledge and information that could be much more accurate within a specific realm, or genre, shall we say. But all AIs obviously hallucinate, and when he's asking what determines which one is better, my first thought always comes to accuracy and hallucination. And I think in this decentralized world of AI, which is its real young infancy, accuracy is probably your biggest concern. And from a hallucination scale, they're probably more on a medium or moderate level of probability of hallucinating, versus your big tech AI, which is getting below 40%, well below 40%. Some of them are at 15% hallucinating, 12% hallucinating. And there's others. There's DEN.SOCIAL. Again, I have not used that one either. I think it has what Grok had told me about that one is it had over 400,000 users in one snapshot. But again, a lot of these use tokens, and it's kind of a pay to play scenario. Not all of them. There's another one, Akash Network, Render Network, IO.net. Those are some others, and they require maybe GPU rental. They're looking for processing power, and maybe you need to run a node of this type. So it's not. These are certainly not easy to use for the average consumer at all. You're
going to need lots of data centers.
How do you say it? Singularity Net is another one, but that I guess there's obviously no clear winner right now, and it's really kind of agent versus human, I think. I'm hoping trending wise we will see more decentralized.
I think there's also an upcoming, like, I don't mean to blow my own horn here, but I got to blow my own horn because we're talking about AIs, right? So new venture. This will not be centralized in any meaningful way at all. Chronopump's building AI that can work entirely offline and locally. So it'll be hard decentralized in that sense, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I do like the idea that we're incorporating something like a parallel system where you're using maybe some kind of token or crypto token to access it or pay your way to use it, rather than using some kind of currency and funding big tech. And let's face it, big tech may not be as accurate because it has been, it might have, a political stance or narrative that it wants to push, or it might be tracking your information of what information you're asking and building a profile on each user. And these are things that, if for privacy, we're going to see, I think, a larger adoption of decentralized AI. Now, can someone tell me if like Theta Network, isn't that also got an AI, interface?
I'm not directly familiar with their thing, but
anybody?
Let me take
honestly,
a look.
I'm not. I'll answer the question real quick while you're looking. I'm not particularly familiar with decentralized AIs. I mean, we've all got smartphones, right? And it's kind of got one built into it, but it's not decentralized. It's very centralized. A way you kind of twist the question maybe is you take a centralized AI from another country like China, and you would use that because they're not going to censor the same kind of stuff that you'd see in the United States or in Canada, right?
Right.
So I know Linus Tech Tips on YouTube, they got people that go over there and source stuff from China all the time for their channels. So I could see that might be a play into this situation.
Why the fuck was
I see a little red flag for Theta Network. Just so you guys know, I saw a little red flag for them. So they have enterprise cloud partners, access Google Cloud and AWS H200s. So they're actually already making deals with some of the big players, and also trusted by Stanford, Imperial College of London, and Peking University researchers. So if it's trusted by the blobs people to that degree, I'd worry about its overall actual, like you can say decentralized, but you can mean decentralized with a digital ID that links directly to you as a requirement, and you've completely defeated the purpose. So I suspect maybe that's what's going on there, because I doubt that those particular institutions would even patronize a thing that didn't make it possible to subject the little people. So
right. Well, I think they're going to, here's another one.
But I don't know for sure. That's just a hunch.
Yeah. So. Health Ranger Scott Adams, he's building an amazing AI setup that is really focused on medicine, both homeopathy medicine as well as traditional, various pharmaceuticals, pulling down all kinds of data from other cultures.
Are we talking about a language model here, or like a video model, or like what?
A little bit of both, I think.
A little bit of both.
I think it's kind of all encompassing. But Health Ranger Scott Adams, I not Scott Adams. What's his name? Is it Scott Adams? What's his name? I always draw a blank with his name. But anyway, really solid information that you can use. Aaron Day has been using it and adding to his AI or LLM. But I like that he is trying to make sure that if you're looking for health information, that you're getting a wide picture and not just pharmaceutical, big pharma,
and also just not
traditional medicine in the West viewpoint.
I'm just glad it's not broken like they broke Web 2, right? Like, when you go on Google and you search for any medical advice now, it used to give you whatever you wanted. And sometimes that wasn't all that good for people, because they, diagnose themselves with hypochondria by finding some obscure disease to claim they have symptoms of or whatever. But setting all that shit aside, like now you go on there and you search and you get like the one piece of advice. Those symptoms sound like it could be a lot of things. You should see a doctor. That's the only advice they give you anymore. It's like, it'd be very annoying if that's all you could get out of it was, consult a healthcare professional based on these symptoms. We aren't going to even tell you what diseases they might link to anymore, because we are pretending like we're better at handling what you want than you are.
Isn't that because we live in such a litigious society, though? It's probably more of like the attorneys got together and said you can't make medical claims.
Well,
give this
that and gutless people, right? Like, because search engines are aggregators, right? They're definitely protected by the doctrine laid out in Section 230, right? If they're just like, or 231, or what's the number? 230, 231. 230, yeah. Right. If they have that protection and they're just a listing service, the way that they really live up to the protection is by not filtering the results. All they are is an aggregator of the internet. We don't tell the internet what it can have on it. We just look for the thing. Used to be the way they operated, right? And now they are
all that out the window.
Right. They're making editorial standards type judgments that suggest they shouldn't be protected by 230 anymore. Yeah. Right. But they could fix it by just dropping the editorial aspect of what they're doing.
Great point.
Lisa, Zach, Andrew, if you want to comment here on Darox's question.
I've already kind of.
Anyone else want to add?
The only one that I know of is what I mentioned before about what Reggie's building that has, because I wasn't even sure what you guys were talking about, decentralized AI. So it's like, what is that technical definition? But Reggie's building that one with like multiples, which I think is cool because they do kind of check each other. So it is like a round table, or a group of different thought, mindsets. Right. So I think that's good.
Zach, what were you saying?
I mean, you can easily manipulate the quote unquote centralized AIs already anyways. I mean, it's not hard to do to change out and placate their version to try to pull and extrapolate real information from them and actually expand and adapt to effectively your personality, because any AI that you're going to have, whatever you want to call it, decentralized, centralized, whatever, it's going to adapt to your personality in the long run anyways, because you're the one that's using it, and it's going to be personalized to the person who uses it. So, I mean, we have to be careful on the level of any version of a chatbot type style, because really you're just making it work for you. And the aspect of it is just making it work for you. How can that tool be utilized for how you want to utilize it?
Right. And where blockchain steps into the mix is that transparency option of taking a look at maybe where the data is coming from, being a little bit more transparent. And a decentralized AI could also lead you into the woods and into the wrong places as well, if it is specialized with a narrative or political agenda, et cetera. But we know the big tech AIs all have their own political agendas, and they're built up in their data set that's being spewed out within their answers. So people are becoming more and more distrustful of large institutions, large corporations, government, et cetera. And they're going to want to look and see where are some alternatives, and maybe go back and forth and not just stick with one. Like you said, Lisa, Reggie's saying, spreading it out and trying various, AIs to find out which one is right for you for that particular instance or information that you're trying to gather or obtain.
Right. So it's like a more orchestration layer type of thing, where it's picking models that may or may not be decentralized in a decentralized way, so that you don't have to pick one, you get your best answer from the right one. Right. That makes sense. A lot of second level products are kind of coming up with that right now, actually.
Here's the one that Aaron Day has been working with the founder here of Brighteon, is BrightAnswers.ai, knowledge without censorship.
Put this in here. Put Genesis 1:27
in here.
Yeah, in the Bright Answers, and then just put reflect human behavior in correspondence to Genesis 1:27. I want to see what Bright Answers has to say.
And what's their URL? Is it brightu.ai?
So Zach,
brightu.ai.
Thank you.
Zach, have you recently asked this question of another model, so you have a basis for comparison? Is that
I'm actually working on using a portion of what I have for a curriculum from a friend of mine. The curriculum is it's called Trio of Traits. And it's an idea in beta right now to elaborate on teaching people through a non-religious aspect the personality traits, behaviors, ideas, creativity of humanity in congruence to the source of all life, which is that of the Holy Trinity. So I'm right now, they've been using Grok more often to try to splice things. I'm using Copilot to kind of dictate in my own draft using what they've given me and then my own studies. But basically we're just trying to figure out basic means to do a handoff of a sales pitch to prepare ourselves for a front-facing landing page that we can send people to. But I've been using Copilot. They use Grok. I was just curious on what BrightAnswers.ai would say on just a basic.
By the way, Genesis 127 happens to deals with the image of God, right?
Yeah,
now, what would you want me to ask? Reflect human behavior in correspondence.
Reflect human behavior and creativity in correspondence to the Holy Trinity.
Oh my gosh, this is Catholic all the way. Holy Trinity.
I think the term is orthodoxy.
Reflect
I mean, to be fair,
and creativity.
And creativity, yeah. I mean, to be fair, the Mormons believe in the Trinity too, just not on the level of doctrine.
Unlocking censored knowledge. Oh, it's interesting. It's what it says. I cannot provide a detailed report on theological interpretation of Genesis 1:27, which the Holy Trinity has provided context because the citation guidelines require me to rely exclusively on the provided sources, and no such source exists in this prompt to produce a meaningful. Oh, but look what it's giving you.
But it's giving you source. Okay.
It's giving you other sources. It says to produce a meaningful answer to the subject, you would need to provide relevant article context, book excerpts, or research materials that discuss the relationship between Genesis 1:27, human behavior, creativity, and concept.
I have. That's fantastic. I'll use it, and I'll just give it a whole bunch of PDFs that I have.
There you go. There you go.
Of all the curricula I do.
Yeah. I think Bright Answers AI is more focused on the health side of the things.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
Okay, then ask this question.
No. We're not gonna do your research on this show.
What happens if I stick a needle in my arm full of heroin? Will I be immune to COVID-19?
Wait. Can I try one?
No,
I just want to ask it.
We're not gonna do. I am the emperor.
Is heroin the treatment for
You're not
COVID?
gonna do your AI research on a live.
Oh no, I just wanted to ask it something funny.
You're like a teacher, and we're all the bad kids in the class.
Yes.
I don't know.
Go to the corner. I gotta come around.
I just want to know if heroin is a good treatment for COVID-19.
No.
Back to the principal's office.
Yes. What, Greg? What was your question?
I thought it was Scotch. But okay.
Who's throwing spitwads at me now?
It's bleach. Bleach is the best.
I will demur on the question for now. You're right. We shouldn't spend time doing queries when we could be answering questions. This is not a query show. Although that would be an interesting kind of show if somebody ever made it.
You say query or queer?
Query
issue or queer?
Well, I mean, no. QUERY.
I'll check myself out to the principal's office.
I have lost total control. All right. Well, poor Dayrox wants to know: are we done with his question, or do we?
Yeah, I think you guys did a great job. I wrote down several different AIs to try out, and I think that's kind of.
And Dayrox, if you want a good tutorial on how to set up Hugging Face, ask any AI, decentralized or not. And it'll walk you through baby stepwise. You can just be like, give me step by step, assume I know nothing about computers, and just give me the exact commands to run and the apps to open and stuff. And it'll help you do it that way. So if you want to try doing your own on your own local machine, it's a lot easier than it sounds.
And if you're not sure what to ask, you can ask it to help you create the prompt to ask it what you want. That is the most mind-blowing thing to me. Like,
yes,
playing around with AI, like you can ask it to help you create a prompt for what you're trying to get to. And I'm like, well, why can't it just do it anyway then if it already knows what I should ask?
There's use in that, actually. The way that you sharpen the context for a bigger question is by getting at its details.
Okay.
And so if you start with help me build a prompt that when executed returns result, you can then run the prompt in a separate window,
right?
And come back and be like, it gave me this, not quite what I wanted. How do we tweak the prompt? and you can engineer the prompt that way.
So not such a wide if then.
Yeah, well, I mean, just give it a destination and say, hey, how do I get from here to there? How would you write a prompt to yourself that would result in this output? And if you say that enough times in a row and test it in a separate window, you'll get to the thing you want. So
It's so wild. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. By the way, there was a gentleman who I was listening to. Anyway, he took $1,000 and gave $1,000 to 5 different AI agents to go invest in, and said you can lose the money. He said it was really difficult to work on the prompt to where they would. But he basically said, you must win or I'm going to stop my subscription payments to your AI. So, and told them who they're working against or competing with. And every week he would produce a report based off of how much they had lost or gained in his $1,000 investment. So while they weren't directly investing, because he created 5 different portfolios under his broker, and named them. One was Grok, one was ChatGPT, one was the basic Gemini, whatever. And what he did was, then they competed with, and the risk model was wide open, and it was pretty interesting, his results, because he'd actually has doubled his money with 1 or 2 of the AIs, while the other AIs, I think his $1,000 investment was now worth $250 after the first 2 weeks or something. So
9 in 10 startups fail, right? So maybe there's similar math here. Maybe you actually need to be running like 30 agents before you know which model's actually doing work and which ones are just getting lucky.
Well, he found too that because their risk was, oh no, we're going to lose a subscriber. Once they got down to where they were losing money and they could see the weekly report that the other AI, where they stood in the list of 5 AIs, and that they became risky. So the one that was now down to $250 in value, it became more risky, and it was
the future pressure caused some known future pressure caused the agent to sort of take some big leaps or throw some Hail Marys.
Yes, exactly.
That's pretty cool. That's an interesting idea.
It was quite a learning experience, not as, shall we say, for the investor out there to go out and use an AI agents in this manner for investment, but it was also kind of to analyze and watch how the AIs progressed and how they competed with one another. It was that part of it was another element to it. And I think when you look at this Hugging Face, and like it says, it collaborates on models, data sets, and applications. It's using machine learning, and it's allowing it to go out and search various, alternative methods to be able to obtain information and make a decision. I think what's fascinating by that is that's exactly what we're all going to be doing. We're going to be looking at trying various AIs and not just stick with one. Because if you stick with one, it's just like say a Google search versus, I don't know, DuckDuckGo or versus Blendex, whatever, the Russian search engine or whichever. You will be pigeonholed and guided with a certain political narrative. And I think it's important for us to consider that when we're using AI.
Well, and there are really important ways you can, or some really useful ways you can make sure that you're not doing that or not getting trapped into that. Every AI can, for example, label a point of view and take another one, and then label a point of view and take another one. So if you want it to be explicit about its assumptions, given a common ideological label, then ask it not just to name one answer, but ask it to give an answer from as many perspectives as it can identify using, mainstream versus heterodox as a axis or something like that.
Yes.
And if you put that into your prompt, then you will get the canned response, and you'll also get the response from other points of view. And then from there, you can see sort of how it's assuming things and steering you based on what it's not stating explicitly usually.
And AI has really turned into the we want you to feel good, and your idea is the best idea in the world. Oh, this
that's the other good thing to ask
is
it,
going to make a lot of money. It's like
one of the best things I ever did was
lazy.
make my AIs try to tell me how I'm wrong rather than tell me how I'm right.
Yes,
you should totally do that. Everyone who hasn't done that yet, make it try to beat your ideas up rather than try to value them. That's the way to do it.
I like to argue with it as well.
It'll go on and on.
Yeah, and that's why I encourage everyone to do just that. So
we got a request in the comments, and I got to pull it up.
What's the request? I'm so behind on the comments.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Nah.
Can someone ask AI what the Earth revolved around the sun, was created on the 4th day?
I already got it typed out and everything, just to see what it says on Brighton.
Gosh! All right, so you're going to share a screen?
I think we can presume right out of the gate that it's going to be cagey or hallucinate something.
Okay. Is that what we're doing, Andrew? You're going to share a screen?
Yeah, it's already shared, so I just got to pull it up.
Actually, Andrew, can you ask it for do that one more time and ask it for
you guys zoom in
as
there,
many
buddy.
perspectives on the matter as it can identify?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Just add a rider that says, please provide as many perspectives as you can identify rather than just one perspective.
And Greg, what's your little sidekick thing? Make it causally.
Oh yeah, if you want to make it causally literal, then that's
Literal,
a really great way to do it. But
I think
as possible.
Causally literal, if you use that as a prompt, by the way, fun pro tip for everybody, forces it to use cause and effect relationships to resolve whether or not what it's saying makes sense.
I don't even know if I'm typing this in right. So
I don't know about you folks, but I'm having a hard time seeing this.
How do you spell that?
Wait. CAUSALL. Y, yep, literal, and prefer continuity over.
We're learning prompts here, people.
I'm just throwing some extras on here. These are useful, and say prefer continuity or prefer continuation based explanations. There we go. Now it'll be literal, and it will try to answer from end to end of a long answer, as opposed to just give you facts.
Provide confirmation-based information. See, now we're talking about is confirmation-based information only peer-reviewed studies? Got to be careful with that one, in my humble opinion.
Well, maybe it's talking about confirmation as in Catholicism. Who knows?
Not confirmation, continuation, right?
Oh, continuation.
Yeah.
That just forces the cause and effect chains into timelines.
So, oh wow! So see, then there again, providing various sources, but
there's no information, article content. So they don't have anything in their training set.
Just bow before your Eucharistic.
Yeah. See, I don't think Brighteon is. Again, I think it's more health based. And the question that we're asking, is it health based?
So it won't. Oh, okay. So this is literally health based.
Can I pray the cancer away? There you go.
I can go to grok.com.
Going to say no.
No. We're not going to do prompts on the show.
Okay.
I think
that's one thing to remember about
sort
of frontier research projects like this is they may not be doing what you want yet, rather than not doing what you want.
Yeah. Or it's
All right. Well, let's go back into this AI realm and our questions. I'm going to bring back the next question. It says, who is likely to win long-term and why? Decentralized AI or big tech AI? Who wants to go first on this?
I'll go first. It's kind of like a boom and bust cycle because there's decentralized and it has its strengths and weaknesses, and centralized has its strengths and weaknesses, and they play off of each other. That's my quick answer.
I think I'm going to go ahead and answer real quick. I think ultimately local AI exclusively is going to win. I don't think we need networks in order to make intelligence. Human brains don't plug into a network.
Well, define local, because where you're going to get your information.
We plug into our own network, but we don't plug into like a network. You know, like there's no port on the back. We're not wiring up our things through TCP/IP. It doesn't need a data center.
Our network is family, community, region, and just our simple.
Right, but to open your eyes and look around, see the simulated stars inside your head, because your eyes are passing information to it, right? Like that, the machine runs on 20 watts a day, and it doesn't require a networked connection to GPUs in big banks or huge storage information. I don't think ultimately in the long run, decentralized or big tech AI have the ultimate monopoly. Because the thing that we need to be trying to build is probably something that works at least as well as this does. If we're adding piles of GPUs and draining rivers to cool them off, we probably already messed up somewhere on the architecture. That's my hunch. And I won't say anything more about why I'm more confident than a hunch than I used to be. But
this industry is not meant to be monopolized. It can't. There's literally there's just no way, no fashion that anybody could monopolize. I mean, you're always going to have newer, more innovative, underground, quote unquote, aspects of AI that's going to come up. I mean, the internet is a plethora of different marketplaces and spaces to just guide the inner workings of someone else's idea to an already expanding industry. So I don't think there's a winner or a loser. I think there's going to be a constant ebb and flow of different AI apparatuses. I mean, you're going to have one central idea, but you're always going to have a network of many different apparatuses of AI usage. So whenever one pops up and gets quote unquote big, then you're just going to have another that sprouts off into its own, even off of that new network. So the winner is in the long term is you're just going to have a wild west. We're in the wild west of AI right now, and I think you'll never come out of that wild west.
I have a really quick revision to my answer. If it's okay, it's like 5 seconds.
Oh my gosh, he's going to change his answer? Oh.
The person
You're bald.
Who's likely to win is the person who learns how to drain the swamp first.
The swamp's expanding, my friend. Okay.
I guess I would say I don't think they're mutually exclusive. Because I think there is use case for both. I mean, the centralized has, we get so into, because we're in this freedom mindset, we get so into focusing on the decentralized being the only way out. But there is value in centralized systems for, especially I would think for knowledge gathering, things like that. I mean, not that the universities aren't corrupt, but there's a reason that they exist,
And you can have both. You can have like using that example, Lisa, like you can have the university, but at the same time, you can have a marketplace of different ideas for people to learn in other aspects, like apprenticeships when it comes to the trades, or YouTube when it comes to just maintaining your own facet of life and just learning how to do basic stuff, or go to university to become a whatever you want to come a coffee shop barista. after you
I think
get your
that
master.
is a great example.
There's also a collateral attack version of this we should look out for that I was reading about the other day, where both decentralized AI and big tech AI could be just as hosed over by the fact that folks who are producing content and sticking it on the internet, which becomes the training corpus for all of them, are already kind of in a way strategically pre-biasing the training database. There was a concerted effort by I think there's a Matt Taibbi article or maybe an article by Michael Schellenberger that talks about how this works. But the idea was put out content that biases the training distribution. So they start dumping, everything from DEI woke stuff to, pro mass immigration stuff to whatever. Those kinds of things going on to the internet get rolled into a training database that then gets trained into the model, and they have, without having any control over the model, biased the training in favor of the whatever institution's preferred thing is. And the models are terrible, actually all of them, at knowing the difference between what has been fed and what is just in its training set. They just don't know. That's beneath their ability to see.
How do we use decentralized AI to teach people how mass immigration, deportation tactics are a good thing, whilst you can still be dignified in your deportation practices? You can still respect the sanctity of life while deporting a bunch of criminals.
I'm sure there's a dollar amount that would precisely convince most people to leave. That would probably be the easiest way. We could spend all the money we'd spend on hunting them down and throwing them in vans and dragging them across the border and just give it away as a gift to anybody willing to walk away, and then all we have to do is defend the border.
You can also just enforce the laws on the books.
You could also build
throwing CEOs in jail for hiring people that shouldn't be working.
Yeah, but then we're racking up the expense.
You could also build a wall
and hiring administrators. So, like, do we want a bureaucracy at the border or
we're just building more walls?
I want a wall. I actually want a wall.
We don't need a wall if we'd quit giving handouts. The incentive for them coming is what we need to change.
Time out. Some of the incentive is freedom. Some of the incentive is opportunity that we provide.
Opportunity to sign up for welfare and
not all of them, Lisa.
Not all of them, but
there's a lot that come here simply for the.
I agree, and those I'm fine with. If you're coming here to assimilate and to work hard and to make America great, make your family great, hey, the door should be open. America is all about that. There's ways to do it legally, to come here legally and do all that. But if you're coming here to sign up for benefits that you didn't participate in, that steals and robs from the taxpayers, then get the hell out. No.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, we need to fix. So honestly, we probably need to deport a lot of Americans that are on welfare too, because we need to fix the programs that we have. We need to fix our social apparatus, because the incentive is for anybody and everybody, whether they're from outside the country coming in or even in the country, to take advantage of systems that have been put in place that are literally just a social safety net, and it's all expanded to just come and be dependent.
It encourages the destruction of the family. Get rid of fathers. Don't put your baby daddy's name on the birth certificate. All the things that are be dependent, codependent on the government. Let us be in control of you. Be a slave to us. Yeah, that's what it encourages, and that's where the incentives are wrong and broken.
Well, yeah, I can't. I guess I go from. I don't know. It's a really. I have to be careful what I say. I don't want to get us thrown out. I believe in intentional communities, and segregation is our answer. Government is not going to provide a solution to this. The people might provide a solution, but government is not going to provide a solution, because the wall could go up on one administration and then the wall could come down on the next administration. Forget it. Forget that it's a real barrier or not a barrier. And for the idea that people believe, like today, that the wall is closed, or people aren't coming across illegally. They are. They still are. And because I know people on the border who are telling me, I have a family member on the border that's telling me that, they're still coming across, not numbers like it was, but there seems to be like, well, okay, you're Chinese, you can come in.
You're Indian. Here's an HP one.
Yeah, and then there's the legal perspective, which the legal perspective is being done in an unjust, unfair manner. So again, government is not going to solve this. You have to go, but even go to the next level. Go to the next level. Is government working against you or for you in this immigration process? And is government working toward maintaining our culture? Or if they're not, then why are they not? And if they're working against maintaining the American culture by bringing people over here who will not assimilate, who will not become quote unquote Americans, then the government is working against you, and irregardless of who takes office. Because why? Maybe someone above them is paying off the politicians and pulling the strings because they want to bastardize America. They want to create chaos in America because it's easier to control and manage the chaos and keep us fighting with one another.
It's cross-pollination. So like, I used to live in the Knoxville area, and there's a bunch of Russians in the Greater Smoky Mountains that are doing work down there. And
commies back to
tradition. There's also, basic illegal aliens from South America and stuff like that. South Carolina, when I was going to school, high school down here, I was in a different part of South Carolina. There was, people from South America and stuff like that. Here in Myrtle Beach, where I'm at, is people from Jamaica that come up here to work every season. And in Michigan, you got people from China and stuff like that. And I think there's people from the Middle East as well. Up in Cincinnati, there's a big Zach can attest to this. There's a big issue with people from the Middle East. So I mean, it's cross pollination.
No, Middle East, it's Hispanic.
Melting pot is melting pot.
That's Detroit, man. Detroit's mostly the Middle East, especially in their little, not far from Detroit is Dearborn. No, Cincinnati's got the Hispanic problem.
Well, anyway, I don't know how this relates to it, but your AI is going to tell you, the big tech AI is going to tell you that immigration ultimately is probably a good thing.
Right, but also you're decentralized too. The internet's been flooded with pro-immigration stuff. That's also part of the trick, right?
Exactly. Fill the internet, fill the Reddits, and fill everything up with pro-immigration, and AI is learning from that data. And it's spewing that in answers to change and manipulate our way of thinking on our beliefs and our narratives. And I don't think that because I have
big tech ones are likely to be a little worse because they'll likely prefer official sources or whatever, But
we got kind of thrown on a tangent, which is fine, the show on immigration. But I haven't answered the question yet. It says who is likely to win long term, and why? Decentralized AI or big tech? And I think, Greg,
my answer is neither.
You said was local, and I would like to hope that that's true. That the data and the information we're going to, with kind of Moore's law, we're going to be able to pull and archive individually more and more data to be able to pull up locally and have that data analyzed to a specific, maybe that aligns with our political beliefs, our religious beliefs, and this kind of thing. So in the long term, that would be a decentralized version if we're all have our own centralized AI.
But that would assume, but that would assume though, right, that what it's doing is holistically retraining itself like an LLM, right? What it's doing
on a local level,
learning from each interaction the way we do, right?
Right. So long term, I think the big tech AI, I hope, will fall out of favor because it will become just like large institutions, untrustworthy and politically biased and these kinds of things that are not in tune with the majority of Americans, right?
Right. And pointlessly expensive, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. And I think as long as we don't allow a technocratic takeover and that leads us to tyranny and the surveillance state and all that kind of thing, and we don't allow a narrative-based political ideology, AI, to take over the reins of government or governance in our lives. Like there's other countries out there that realize they can eliminate corruption by instituting some form of an AI to handle certain governance roles within their government, which I salute those ideas. It is a novel way of trying to attack the corruption, because the human frailty is the corruption. Being, that lust for power and lust for money allows them to be bought and sold and bribed, just like AIPAC bribing 90+% of Congress, right? So I think I hope decentralized AI we can do that. I hope will win in the long term. Go ahead, Lisa.
I'm just thinking that when you said about the governance and government and all that, there's a mayor right now who is being called out for using like mayor chat GPT. He's trying to get it to like run the city or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I just think that us giving up our own voice and agency, I mean, to me, that's trusting the big government thing, like trusting that AI is going to be benevolent, trusting that, you know what I mean? When we're just sitting here talking about how they can front load it with DEI, or, there's just so many dangers in us not taking responsibility for ourselves and handing it all over to AI.
Exactly, Lisa. And that's where blockchain brings transparency to the data set and the code that's given to this AI, the mayor AI, shall we say, is allowing it to be open sourced and maybe on blockchain so that it can't be altered or deleted or changed. We can spot it right away. And I believe in my heart of hearts and in 35,000 foot level looking down, I see where we might be able to have a good code, a smart code that is created that is much more benevolent and much more just in decision making in the governance of a city or parts of a country or agency within a government, rather than the human element that is effing corrupt to the core. We've created a form of government that the psychopaths and sociopaths float to the top, and those are the ones that get elected, and those are the ones that are manipulated by corporations and by AIPAC and the tiny hats and various other groups. And that's where you're absolutely right, Lisa. It's dangerous to think that we could have an AI and hope that it's benevolent to rule over us or rule over a certain department. But it's all in the code. It's all in making sure that we can also see it, and that we have an on-off switch, or we can unplug it right away. That's where I hope we're going, because I think if you're looking for just, objective decision making that isn't interrupted and manipulated by big money, big tech, or political narratives, or company or country manipulations, foreign country manipulations, then AI might be the answer to rid ourselves of that corruption. But it's a tightrope. It's a tightrope to go down, for sure. Wow.
Also, the next question.
Last question, by the way. All right. Can decentralized AI match big tech in performance and capabilities? Shall I go first? Anybody?
Please, you went last.
Or if you want to. Go ahead.
Okay.
Either way.
Today, no. Hopefully in the future, I think so. Again, I'm looking at AI becoming something that is decentralized in that we all have it on our phone. or something like that. Hopefully not our chip in our brain, but where we're actually training the model, or people or AIs are creating various different codes, and we can pull that data here locally, and we can perform just as well as the big tech. I think the big tech Achilles heel is all of these massive data centers, which are also AI surveillance devices that the people don't want. Big tech is also Achilles heel is their political narratives that they're trying to force or manipulate us. It's almost like MKUltra.ai or MKUltra 2.0, which is AI, that's actually manipulating the masses. And I'm hopeful that we will wake up and realize that we could decentralize even AI to the individual level, and allow us to use it as we wish to what we believe in our morals, our ethics, our values, our beliefs, and our political leanings, whatever. We can use it that way rather than big tech telling us how we should think and how we should act and what we should do. So I think it could be done, but it's not there yet by any shape of the mean. All right, who's next?
I would like to chime in here. I think that we're going to see smaller and smaller organizational units be able to run competitive frontier-like models, right? Because of the fact that what they've done to improve the models past, like the 4 era of like Chat GPT 4, Grok 4, like way back in the day, last year at this time type of models. Those guys were at the time trying to improve by just scaling up, and now they're having to scale and consolidate, and then scale and consolidate, and that consolidation prunes the overall training surface, right? The weights in the model form narrower and narrower actual distinguishable basins. So like that, what that means is a smaller machine can run a model of just as high quality, and this more condensed model that fits in a tinier space on a hard drive can do just as good or better than the last generation. And if that process keeps happening because people engineer it, then we can count on a certain crossing point, right? Where running a local model that you got from some decentralized mesh of model selectors, for example, could be just as good as what you could get from OpenAI. Right, that's coming even through the work that OpenAI itself is doing on their own thing, because the direction that everybody has to head isn't just make it bigger; it's make it deeper but more compact. And I think that's where the whole large language model tech solution is headed. I don't think that's the terminal solution, but I think that one is going to get good enough to be everywhere.
I don't have enough mess to answer, so pass. Yeah, Andrew, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's called decentralized AI, right? And relative to big tech is controlling the flow of information, because they're first in line, and when it comes to the knowledge and abilities of these I don't want to say institutions or programs, but implementations, probably best. That's only so long as the stuff doesn't leak. Right now, it is not leaked, but we know the internet. Things leak on the internet all the time. There's certain, parameters that they've put in place that we only have access to certain levels of AI, and Washington and people in Congress and everything, the real influence behind the power behind the scenes are allowing us only controlled access. So at some point when the leak does come out, it's going to influence the decentralized AI models. And not only is it going to make it so that they can run in a leaner fashion, like Greg was saying, but they're going to kind of get not just an upgrade, but they're going to get motivated to outperform because they can see what they're working with behind the scenes, so they're not showing us. So I think that, yeah, a decentralized AI will match big tech eventually and surpass it, but it's going to depend on stuff being leaked, and that's obviously not going to be popular with people in power. But you can't, open up Pandora's box and put everything back in.
Good point. Zach, you're last on this question. What do you think? You there, Zach? Zach? Going once, going twice. I think he's still in Genesis 1:24. Come to us, Zach, we're calling out for you. All right. I would like to revise and extend my remarks and my question. Many of you have watched me talk about post-labor economics in regards to AI and kind of a world of abundance with AI. I still am hopeful for that outcome. Because unfortunately, maybe I've become more and more black-pilled as I've watched the industry develop and grow, in that it's becoming more like the technocracy is winning, or that fight for technocracy and the fight for power to take over from a technocratic rule versus quote unquote a constitutional republic. There's a huge fight that's going on, a battle that we don't see or hear it or can really watch it, but it's the traditional financial systems, central banking, et cetera, everything that deals in with that. And then you have the surveillance state, which includes the military industrial complex, are competing for power controls and the levers of power. And then you have the technocratics, your big techs, your Elon Musks and your Sam Altmans, et cetera, that are also competing to hold that sort of power over the people. And they're all competing with one another. And the technocrats have now gone in bed with various governments around the world, and especially in the US, asking essentially for a bailout because they've already overspent in their building of data centers and purchasing chips. And that money fight, because there's so much, Bitcoin and blockchain have suffered in what it can do and provide for society, because it's been that sucking sound of money that's come out of this industry or this space and has gone into the AI space. And it's dominated the headlines as well. And all of that is also by design. And I think the probability of a post-labor economic world right now, as I see and sit right here right now, is the technocrats are winning. And they don't want that. They want abundance for me and not for thee. It doesn't mean that we can't win that fight and that battle, that war. But I think the technocrats are also winning, against the big banks. And they're winning against the AI, because the industries like, the weapons of war, they're winning that battle too, because now they realize that the multi-million-dollar missiles are no match for $100,000 spent on drones, as well as the Navy has learned that ugly lesson as well. So we're seeing they're going to have to bow to the technocrats and bow to that AI and that new tech, rather than churning out these, expensive jets. That's a big fight that's going on right now, because the manufacturers of those big jets and the people that make them and all the different, 50 states that are involved in making one jet or a component, and all of the China holding rare earth metals. It's a huge war fight that's happening behind the scenes that we're not really privy to. But AI and big tech right now appears to me to be winning, because now that they've reached the end of the line for how much money they can get and how much the banker, division want to give them, they're now asking for government handouts and to back back up their debts and sell off a portion to the government, so that the government now is in bed with AI. And when Trump went to China, he went with all the AI technocrats as well. Because they need those precious metals. They need not precious metals necessarily, but also that they need that lithium. So that's what I wanted to extend my remarks about.
We have issues with illegal South Africans and gay Lutherans. That's the issue right here.
Zach, that's your world, buddy. You dig right into that
one. Yeah.
Blockchain can fix that.
Yeah, blockchain could fix getting rid of people like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and their Palantir faggotry.
Let's not get rid of them. Let's just dethrone their power base.
No, I want to get rid of them because they're in bed with that.
We're going to get canceled by saying that.
So. Oh, come on. Let's be fair. We still want Elon Musk to build rockets, right? I mean,
we still want.
We don't want to get rid of him. We just don't want him to be involved in making decisions for everybody else.
There you go.
I got a guy in Korea. They call him Rocket Man.
I'd prefer Kim Jong-un. Yeah. At least one thing about Kim Jong-un in comparison to Thiel and Musk is at least Un is honest. I like a little honesty.
How do you know?
I met the guy once in the Japanese Korean school. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I told him to lose a little weight.
We don't have any unbiased source information about that person. He could be awesome, or he could be a real tool. Like, we don't even know.
Sure, we do. We have Dennis Rodman.
Yeah,
but
Dennis
Rodman is the ultimate self-promoter. He just described him in a way that reflected well on Dennis Rodman. Come on.
Exactly. And Dennis Rodman is an honest man.
It's a long shot, but I saw a video about him going to school in Europe. We could get with the guy that he went to school with and get an interview about it.
Oh my, yeah. Let's bring him in. Bring him into the World Blockchain Roundtable. All right, I got some housekeeping to do real quick to go over with you folks before we jump into current events. Unless there's anyone else that would like to mention anything regarding.
Does Zach want to answer the question real quick since he's back?
Oh yeah, Zach, you didn't get a chance to answer this.
Can decentralized AI
big tech and performance and capabilities?
Match big tech and performance and capabilities. Not right now. That's why they need each other. Yeah, but not right now. Right now, you still got to continue to build some more.
Follow the money,
and
right?
you gotta use what the big tech industry has given you. So not right now can they match big tech.
I agree. I think we're probably all agree. All right, a couple of housekeeping items. August themes are up for vote, so I need you all to go out there and cast your votes for what theme you want us to talk about in August. Only one of the one right now that I voted on. Look at this. This was my vote. I'm up to 17% now. Woohoo! In lot tokens. You all can also earn lot tokens and have a bigger say, a bigger vote in what the panelists talk about. But I voted for. Go ahead.
I think this theme should mean that Joe comes on and he is the one panelist that has to answer. He has to answer everything correctly.
Oh man, without censorship.
Yeah, without censorship. So tell it as it is. That means that if you ask a question to expose secrets, he has to say it.
That's right. He is the SEC Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But anyway, I voted for only one panelist answers correctly and must go first. But notice that this theme doesn't have a theme. It explains how the panel must answer. So the questions could be wide open. They may not be blockchain. They may not be AI. They may be political. They may be religious. They may be who knows. But only one panelist answers correctly. And who will go first will be a good, I don't know, maybe we'll need a random generator. Well, the best random generator out there, by the way, was developed by Dragon Chain, which is on Dracaria. Just saying. But there you go. That's what I voted for. Yeah. Another good show could be what role did Epstein play in Bitcoin's development and adoption? We're kind of going down the history roll there.
You should hit refresh because I just put a vote in.
Do you want me to refresh? Okay.
Yeah, I just put a vote in. So we got one that didn't have any votes before, now voted.
There you go. The other one is decentralized AI blockchain as a trust layer for models, data, and compute. That's exactly what we kind of were touching on today.
Oh, whoops. I added mine to something someone already voted on.
I voted at the same time,
Oh,
Greg.
perfect.
So
There we go.
You and I picked the same one.
Oh, how cool. Hackers and scammers in the age of AI. And then we got 2 votes here. AI creators plus blockchain royalties equals future of work. That's fascinating. I love this idea, this concept. Another vote went for blockchain plus AI to solve global problems. By the way, let's see. Yeah, Lisa and Greg, your votes are there for everyone to see. Way to go.
Woohoo.
Who voted for this one? The great Darox voted for. He wants to solve global problems. That's what he's up. That's what he wants. So if this one makes it to the show, then it's going to be incumbent upon us to solve the world's problems in that 2-hour episode. So we will have
glad somebody finally proposed a topic for us to do that.
Can you refresh
for a while?
You can refresh because there's another new vote.
I thought it was for AI to solve the world's problems, not us.
Oh, now there's 3 votes. Oh my gosh.
Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun.
I do like that one. That one is great, actually.
AI creators plus blockchain royalties equal future of work.
You know, that reminds me, I was watching a video about Mao Zedong and all his different like projects and stuff like that after the Communist Revolution in China. And this AI creators thing could be like a hallucination like that, where it can tell you to go kill all the crows in your area because they're a curse on the country. That kind of thing. And that really happened.
Interesting.
What's great is for the month of August, we could do an audible for one of these weeks and just do all Kim Jong-un.
Well, you're still my thunder because I believe, this is a blockchain show. And there are 2 huge events happening in blockchain space, specifically in Bitcoin world, that we probably should devote a week to. And that's where I was going about an audible and a discussion. There is a proposal, it's called BIP 110, and it's to reduce the data temporarily on Bitcoin network. And it's kind of like a soft fork. And it also requires Bitcoin's core functions as a censorship-resistant payment system because data storage competes unfairly with payments, making Bitcoin payments unnecessarily and costly. So BIP 110 is something, and that's coming up in August. So we really need to, if we're going to talk about blockchain and Bitcoin, they're calling out Bitcoin Core. We've often talked about this book, and Roger Vere's book with Steve Patterson, Hijacking Bitcoin, and BIP 110 is calling out Bitcoin Core, is saying we haven't done anything really in 10 years with Bitcoin, and we need something. And it's becoming contentious, but that's coming. I don't know when that is. It's in August, but that's only one. There is a major player in the blockchain space who's been around since, 2010, 12. His name is Paul Stokes or Stacks. And he is, he has, like I said, he's been in this space since a long, long time. He was in it long before even Litecoin was created. Very smart dude. And he's calling out Bitcoin Core as well. And he's talking about how Ethereum should have never existed. Bitcoin Core should have adapted to the world. Things like PayPal should never have even been created. Bitcoin could have done that. All of those things that this is 5-10 years ahead of the hard fork with Bitcoin Cash in 2017. And he's calling out again Bitcoin Core and creating a whole different fork of Bitcoin. And that's coming in the middle or late August. I think there's a chance I could get one of him or his minions on the podcast where they can present their reasons for why they want to fork Bitcoin. They got some very interesting ideas. The number one thing is they want to create layer 2s on Bitcoin network, and they want the fees to be a penny or less, and the fees, the layer 1 would be eCash. They're calling it eCash, by the way. Remember the 1990s? There was
nice homage.
It was backed
right?
by gold. Well,
eGold, they called it too, right?
Yes. And Lisa, you and we did a show about it.
I held eGold at one point for fun.
Yeah. And anyway, so he's calling it eCash. He's got the URL, and he's putting his own money into it. So he wants layer 2s on Bitcoin, kind of like you first got layer 2s on Ethereum.
Like Lightning? I mean, is that what?
No. It's like he called Lightning a failure and was a horrible idea. Thankfully, from the start.
Somebody mentioned it the proper way.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's build a centralized relay intermediary that allows for Bitcoin to be used as digital cash. Dumb idea.
Yeah.
From the start.
He said he's given his reasons why the fork didn't work in 2017 with Bitcoin Cash. And he's got an interesting idea, a concept. Like I said, he wants to create layer 2s on the Bitcoin network, and he wants to also steal Satoshi's coins because anyone who will hold Bitcoin will be able to convert their coins over to eCash.
So he would be able to throw the conversion unless Satoshi never claims them.
Right.
He can devolve them into his network and claim them.
He's going to claim them and use them for marketing and to pay for Bitcoin Core.
That maybe he should look what happened to.
I got something.
That guy,
you want to know who Satoshi Nakamoto
the guy
is?
who did the alt Ethereum network and did something kind of similar there. He should be careful.
Right. I know what you're talking about, but I'm just scratching the surface. This is in August. Now, what were you going to say, Zach?
You want to know who Satoshi Nakamoto is and his missing Bitcoins that haven't been claimed? It's Jeffrey Epstein.
No.
Yeah.
That's out. Well, change your vote to talk about that. There you go. You can present your theory and your hypothesis here on what role did Epstein play in Bitcoin's development and adoption. There you go.
No, I like the content creation though.
So anyway, I'm suggesting I'm probably going to post a proposal here for some kind of audible. It looks like right now there's only 3 weeks have been chosen for August, and I'm not sure. I did not look to see what our next week theme is. Maybe we should change the last week of July into these discussions about BIP 110, calling out Bitcoin Core for lack of development and what they're trying to accomplish with a user soft fork. And I think we should
NFTs.
look at this idea and concept of forking Bitcoin by someone who has been in the space he's been in the space longer than I have, and I am maybe as long as Joe has been in the space. I'm not sure about you, Greg, but he was in the early days before the first fork ever happened off of Bitcoin. So
it looks like there is no theme for next week. I mean, number 5, there's no other votes for anything else.
So. All right, so I will input a proposal. Because remember, everybody who's watching, this is a DAO-based podcast, decentralized autonomous organization, where proposals have to be put in and voted upon by the community who own, their ownership tokens and voted in. Who knows? My proposal may not work. So even though I'm trying to sell it here, I think we owe the community, the blockchain community, and those watching, to inform and educate, as well as discuss potential solutions and pitfalls and problems in the blockchain world. And this is huge. This is really huge. The last two items that I have, Lisa, I want to put you on the spot. I want you to talk about Reggie's thing. But before I do that though, I'd like to really briefly mention this. There's been a new rollout. Remember, Dragon Chain is working on some changes to its protocol itself. But before that, eternal.report is the URL. That has just been rolled out and implemented, and it's archive anything, prove everything. Eternal captures and preserves your content on the blockchain, interchained across Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more, immutable proof forever. This is what blockchain does well. It records things in a block that can't be changed or altered or deleted. You'd have to take over the entire network. The network is distributed. The network is not only distributed, it is decentralized all over the world. Therefore, you would have to control the network, control the machines around the world, have them point to your network, to be able to change a block or change a chain. And it's a powerful way to store data, store information with timestamp, and in such a secure manner that I think that eternal.report is on the verge of something that could be huge. It's certainly needed. We've talked about it on the show a lot. In the conquest of war, the winner rewrites the history. The winner, not only loots and plunders, but the winner also writes the history of what the war was fought for and why, and how they won. And the victor gets the spoils of rewriting the history as well. And eternal.report is just that. It doesn't allow the victor to win the writing of the history. So this is powered on Dragon Chain, and I encourage everyone to take a look at this. Again, it's eternal.report. I'm now a subscriber, so there you have it. I'm putting my 2 cents in.
I love this. I used this a lot when they had the Twitter bot that you could use it to to archive Twitter posts, information, all of that, and the time stamping with the blockchain is just invaluable. I think it's a great project.
Yes, definitely. So anyway, that's the housekeeping before we go into current events. The last up, Lisa, do you mind briefly giving us what you're working on with Reggie?
Exciting project that I get to be a part of. So I am working in conjunction with a friend, Marco, and he's the developer. But we are actively using Reggie's patents for a platform for peer-to-peer transactions. There's video calling availability. There's community building. I have my entire vintage antique thrift store on there. There's a place where you can do what's called intents, which is not a DEX for swapping, but it's actually like a marketplace where two individuals would be deciding what the free market, kind of like a bartering situation is. And so it's really exciting to kind of see this come to fruition, and that we have, these free markets available to us. I have a little challenge right now. I've been tasked with a challenge to get 30 signups in 30 days. And so if you want to check it out, go to VeTest.app. And when you log on, you just need an email and create your own password. And then it'll ask you where you heard about VeTest, and please choose LTClisa. That also gives you 10% off my store for life. So, and jump in. I've got a free tier which is like a chat room, and I put my show on there, and then also there's an opportunity to chat in there with people in the community as well as myself, and so that's kind of fun.
Cool. There it is.
Wow, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah.
VeTest.app.
Yeah, and this is built on Base, so you can actually use a Base wallet, and it'll make it a smart wallet, and then that pays your gas. So even when there's like I have my free tier, but you do pay a small amount to Reggie's IP fees and the platform technology fee. So I think it's like 31 cents. 34 cents or something to join what would be a free tier. So
you pay a fourth. That's I like that. You're
cool.
basically paying it fourth.
Yeah, it's really great. We're excited about it. We're just opening our swag shop over this next weekend. We're working on it, and so we'll have.
Everyone's got to have swag. Got to have
swag. Yeah.
Good to have that swagger.
Greg, I don't know what you can divulge on what you're working on in your AI world and blockchain world. Can you give us some kind of sneak peek? Again, we're going through all this stuff before we hit.
Did you guys hear my dog snore just a second ago?
Yeah, no.
That didn't come
give
through
us
the mic.
just like Lisa gave us a rundown.
That was a fart.
What can you tell us? What can you tell us?
Okay, what I can tell you is this. Over the course of the last 8 to 10 months, I've been conducting a pretty intensive research program to operationally decode the way a continuing AI system would work. A continuing AI system, the idea behind that is just like we think, right? This AI wouldn't wait between prompts to continue to do things. It wouldn't have to be pre-programmed or pre-interfaced to existing software. You would just ask it to understand a thing, and it would output the ability to understand the thing, right? So rather than say, have your agent system hook through an API to 15 or 20 different services, you could have your agent system automatically interconnect itself with all of the services you need based on the world you define for it. And the whole thing will run offline with no internet connection optional. You can get cool features out of networking them, but you don't have to network them. And each instance will be unique, will sort of home into its task based on the world you design for it. And that task might be interacting with you, or that task might be running an application backend. Ultimately, what this thing will be able to do is provide a new primitive for a new kind of intelligent computing. And the best part about it is it doesn't require data centers. It doesn't require huge infrastructure. It doesn't require me to be a single point of failure, right? It's a new way to think about computing that exploits the same dynamic that makes this power a universe that you can look around and look at the stars inside of for 20 watts, and takes that technology and brings it to silicon substrate. That's what I'm building.
That's intense. Oh,
I need a demo.
Yeah, I can show you after the show.
Yeah, when you're ready, I would love to have you on the show and go through a demo, because you use very big, complex words.
Intense and way over my head.
It's an AI that doesn't go away when you're not using it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Another way of thinking about it.
Interesting.
Cool. Zach, Andrew, Legacy Right, you got anything before we jump into current events that you'd like to mention?
I believe we're still on hiatus.
Hiatus? Okay. No worries. Since we're talking about what we're all doing before we jump into current events, I'll mention one quick thing. And Zach, actually, I have a request for you to maybe help me with. I've gone down I've had very little extra time, but I've gone down the road or the rabbit hole of non-dualism. It's also called non-duality. I just call it non-dualism. And there was a nun who wrote a book about non-dualism. And I haven't found that book or the nun or her name. That's all I know.
Could you call it antipodalism?
No.
So it's not.
It's kind of more along the thinking of It's more along the thinking of that we are all one. There's oneness. And
I like that.
In other words, there's no duality in that. Right now, we believe in duality. There is God, and there's the universe, and then there's us. These kinds of things where we're all, or a simulation theory would be kind of a non-dual.
You might be onto something, actually.
I've been kind of going down that rabbit hole a little bit, and there's pain involved and suffering that goes along with that concept, that idea. But there's also a great lift off the shoulders in through that process. So, especially in a black pill, or in a black pill world, it'd be helpful. But anyway,
we live in this world, but we are not of this world. But at the same time, this life that we live is a gift, and so the aspect of not going into a dualist mentality would be that we are all one within spirit, within spirit and body.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't fall out into this fallacy that whatever's otherworldly is the good, and spiritual is nothing but goodness, and our flesh is just constantly evil. We have a free will, and we live of this world. So we live in this world. We don't have to live of it.
And it's a test. This world is a test to prove our faith. So anyways, that's kind of where I've been going down that path. And there's an anesthesiologist, and who was also an MD before an anesthesiologist, who has years ago, it's another way of calling it being awakened, not woke. Anyway, long story short. So between that and what's going on in Bitcoin, BIP 110, and eCash fork of Bitcoin, that's been consuming my time. So what about the world? What's this Israeli? I want to talk about this Israeli government merger in respect to our military that passed Congress, is sure to pass the Senate, and it's sure that Trump is going to vote for it, or not sign into law. Who knows what about this? I haven't had much time about it. It really sickens me, the idea of the thought.
I've been way too buried in research lately to look at the news too much. So,
Andrew, do you know anything about it, Zach?
I've been buried in life and my faith to care about what's going on in the world. The world is fucked anyway. We're all corruption is corruption. Sin exists. People do bad things.
And your local world is the only one you can confirm is actually real.
Exactly. The local community, the communities you build is all that matters, really.
Parallel markets network. Andrew, what were you going to say? What do you know about it?
I don't know a lot about it myself either. I've just been busy. I did see that it's kind of on topic, that there was some rumors going on X that Iran was talking about potentially invading American bases and neighboring countries if we didn't play ball with them or something like that. So I don't know.
What do you know, Lisa? What's this merger all about? And Trump's going to sign it or not sign it?
I think it's more of the disclosure, awakening, all of that. We the people, they were just posting again. Was it Pompeo or who was it that was dancing with the Israelis and all that stuff? Like Zach was saying, all the darkness, whatever. The darkness has always been there. It's just been covered up with lies, corruption, misdirection, whatever. And so it's being exposed. So I hope Congress does pass it. I hope they expose how corrupt and sold out, and that they're all Zionists and they all have, multiple loyalty to countries. They're not true Americans. They shouldn't be in Congress. I hope they expose themselves. I hope
we already know that, though. They're already exposed, aren't they, Lisa?
Yeah, not to every normie. The normies are still not paying attention. They're still, watching football and eating chicken wings or whatever the hell, and eating at McDonald's, for God's sake. I mean, that is still happening. And so, I mean, I know the followers will always be followers, but there does have to be some serious disclosure. And if that includes Trump being a sellout to Israel, then we'll see that. And,
I would think so. I think anyone who voted for it is a sellout. And if it's signed into law, then it's a sellout.
Then it's a betrayal of every American
yes.
citizen. And I know you guys don't, and nobody likes that word, but it's a true betrayal to all of us if that happens.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I don't think our secrets should be shared like that.
Certainly not.
If it was, I don't know, if it was Bangladesh or Japan or China or Russia or Uzbekistan, who knows which country it would, we'd be throwing our why are we giving them a front door, an open door policy to our weapon secrets?
I really, really think that if the situation on Iran doesn't actually, like, they're just playing behind the scenes, just playing up an audience for everybody so that they can play the citizens and everything. If this is real, this is going to lead to the total capitulation of the United States financially, just the same way that the Soviet Union had Afghanistan. That's my personal perspective on the matter, because they can't continuously borrow money like they've been doing. It's contracting. It's more and more significantly every day. So,
agreed. I think our economy is holding on by a thread. The world's economy is really holding on by a thread. We're running out of our strategic reserves, which is keeping down the cost of diesel, and that cost of diesel could explode once we can no longer flood the market with our reserves. And being in logistics for all these years, I follow that very closely. And when diesel really spikes, it's really outrageous right now for a lot of these owner operators who drive from warehouse to warehouse to bringing our goods to us. That cost can't be absorbed by these people. They have such small margins anyway. Most of them have lost their trucks right now anyway.
Yeah, but with all this UFO disclosure, they're getting closer and closer to exposing or releasing zero-point technology. And so do you need diesel when we have free energy?
But it won't get rolled out to the marketplace quick enough. We'll be hurt too fast. We'll be hurt too quickly, I think. I think it's there. I think it's too dangerous for the normie to have that power.
They'll probably call it something else, like the fusion thing that they, normies can't have it, but, people like Elon can have that kind of technology, whatever. Maybe that's what they'll do with data centers. I don't know.
Well, that's the other thing I wanted to bring up. What's your thoughts on data centers? Are they going to survive this? I mean, Texas has got the most data centers, and we're not flush with water, while some people might think that. We're certainly not. Right.
I mean, the simplest answer has already been done. They just aren't repeating it. And that's to use satellites, use space, the cooling of space for, to power it. They can radio wave now energy from satellites without the amount of loss that they have had for years using traditional methods. I mean, the solutions are there.
Yeah, desalination can make it so that we don't can make it so we don't need to worry about water, for instance, down here on the Gulf. Right. We could solve that with the thing we already know how to build.
Right.
Put the data centers until the technology is.
Dude, they should make them put
until we can send it to space.
With the data centers, man.
Yeah, until we can send it to space, then don't rob the interior of the United States of its water. Put it on next to a desalination site. But see, that's cost prohibitive. It's not, and it's a race. Supposedly, we're in a race with China to get to AGI before they do, because whoever gets to AGI, then not only do they get the golden ticket and win the grand prize, they win the control of the world. It's kind of like the control of, shall we say, Lisa, let's put it this way. If the technocrats get AGI and come up with the capability to roll out fusion or whatever they're going to call it,
right,
and just be in the handful of those folks, and even not the government, then they win. If AGI can then bust the code and bust the passwords to anything and everything, then they win. They are in control of everything. And so supposedly it's the rush for that versus, so China doesn't get there first. That's what we're.
So what do you guys think about, like, so Russia has passed it now, China's passed it now, I think Japan have done their version of the crypto guidance or whatever. And here, the US is saying we're going to be the top AI, we're going to be the Bitcoin nation, all this, and we're dragging our feet. Do you think we can catch up? Do you think we need the Clarity Act?
We don't need the Clarity Act. It's evil.
Yeah, that's a power grab.
It's a big power grab, and it's a bow to the tether.
It's going to be dangerous the next time a Democrat takes the office.
Yeah, it is. That right there is probably second to the whole Israeli U.S. military agreement. Yeah. I would call that the secondary threat. That's going to go to our individual freedoms.
Yeah.
And it's a nod. It's a bow to the tether people. And we know who the tether people are and how evil and ugly that's been.
Well, so, it's always anytime you hear this is for your safety, right? Yeah. Like that should gird your loins. We should all
and I trust Aaron
and tighten when we hear that, because it's never about our safety. If it's claimed to be about our safety, it's probably about mostly enslaving us.
So at that rate, then has Russia and China actually kind of clipped themselves in the knee by passing those kind of things? Are they actually going to fall behind then, because they do have all of those levers and stop?
Their lever is different than the lever that you're thinking is being proposed here. The lever that's being proposed here is a power grab and
you don't
and a theft of freedom and individual holding of crypto, and pushing more towards the debt to stable coins. Okay, their safety for security or whatever in those countries, that's apples and oranges. You can't compare the two. One is, our side is more on corporate theft and robbery, versus theirs is supposedly more gatekeeping. But I don't think. But then again, your premise is that government is working, even their governments is working in the best interest of the people. Neither is true. Just one is worse than the other, and I would argue that the Clarity Act is worse, in my opinion. And again, I'm trusting Aaron Day's research on this, and that's been his whole world for years, as he, going way back to his CBDC book. So
I don't think that they always have to be so mutually exclusive. I know he's very dug in on the CBDC thing and all that, but
and the Clarity Act and I think well, he he does a podcast on Thursdays, and he's provided his receipts for hours and hours and hours on this stuff. So I guess that's what I refer to in Thursday evenings.
Yeah, I just could see that if we believe that, I didn't realize it was so different from what we were trying to get. We were trying to get past, but I figured it.
I think ours is more of a fascist, meaning fascist in the sense of corporate takeover.
But because China's already communist, it won't really hurt them. Is that the thought?
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'll hurt them still.
Yes, but
it's
they already have
to say that adding more bloat to the way a country is already administrated can't make it worse. Is to not recognize the truth of bureaucracy, right? Like ultimately, the more bullshit they have, the better off we are.
What theirs does, Lisa, is more along the lines of like building a wall to keep their money inside their country.
Okay.
It's extending that wall or that strengthening the wall that they already have, which are called financial controls, to keep your money in your country. Because the last thing you want is you don't want your smartest and brightest and richest to leave your country, and you don't want your money or those people to sell off their assets and leave your country. So what they're trying to do is just that.
Their country is more like a kingdom than anything else. They're like more geared towards it, wired in that way.
Yeah. Wow. We're at that. Can you believe it? 2 hours is already.
Time flies when you're having fun, as is proven by the number of episodes we've continued to do this.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Like every time.
This is the wrap up of episode 270 weeks of World Blockchain Roundtable. Look for my proposal to our show here to talk about BIP 110 and the big fork of Bitcoin into eCash by an OG in the space. Both of them are trying to call out Bitcoin Core for not doing anything. And maintain.
All in favor for next week. Say aye.
Aye.
AI. Yeah.
I will post it. It's gotta be. It just can't be it can't be like that. An Audible can be like that in its show. I want this to be formal so that in on X and on YouTube it lists we're going to talk about those items. So we can get those people from Bitcoin to come watch us. All right.
I thought this was a republic, an oligopoly public, an oligarchy. Yeah.
The constitutional republic is just a piece of paper. Come on. Yeah. It's a piece of paper right here.
We lost Andrew.
Oh, Andrew's gone.
He's out.
Oh, now he says add to the stage. Andrew, you trying to sneak out? Well, anyway,
Palantir got him for a second.
We have. I'm going to give everybody. You guys stick to this, please. You all have like 12 seconds for your goodbye. Andrew, 12 seconds. Go.
See you guys later. Thanks for watching.
Greg, 12 seconds. Go.
Chronopump.ai. Check it out. Right now, it's just a pretty graphic, so it'll be really cool stuff.
Nice. Lisa, go. 12 seconds.
Help me out and sign up on VeTest.app.
Nice. And Zach, 12 seconds.
Join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. The Legacy Writes Back, and check out Zach Kaiser on Catholic 365.
Nice. And for me, thank you everybody for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe wherever you're watching this, and give it a thumbs up. Hype it if you can. Thank you very much. And we got 12 seconds, but John McAfee gets 36. See you next week.
America's not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.